Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the CC Zone. I am Redacted, and tonight, unfortunately, Brinkles will not be joining me as he has some personal issues that have to take priority. But instead, I have Chelsea here with me, as well as a few other guests from our Plat League, different representatives from different teams, and I'll just go ahead and name them off one at a time. First, we have KFC's Wicked Zingers, ShadyGecko. He is the jungler, and a little thing about him is he's a boomer. He started playing comp about 5 years ago. If anyone is hating on him, they're hating on KFC and how good they are. Um, and yeah, that's about it. He just started this team up with a few buddies of his, and they don't have too many expectations on him, so they're already exceeding them, and they're here to conquer more. Our next guest is Moonstones Gaming's Noatak, the ADC for them, and he is the CCS's resident Seraphine one-trick pony. That's all he has to say. If you want to see him on the Rift, go ahead and add him. Our other guest is TA Sentinel's DrPhilandChill, the original and only released Stats Master. Glacial. Sorry, got some popcorn stuck in my throat. And then our last guest, who will be joining us here shortly, so we have a little image on the screen there for you, is Dorado Gaming's new Marshall, and he is the Renekton connoisseur and P. Huffzone's father. So, Chelsea, how are you doing tonight? And appreciate you for being here with these 32 power rankings and, being my new co-host.
Yeah, I'm chilling, bro. Have a nice old time. Moved into my apartment. Really sleepy though. Anyways, how are you redacted?
I'm all right, man. I'm kind of chilling too. You can kind of see it's a little bit messy behind me. I've just also moved, still getting my life organized and together, but we're getting there one day at a time. I have no classes tomorrow, so hopefully this is all cleaned up. How are all of our guests doing? ShadyGecko, let's start with you, and we'll go through each group member with Noah
Uh,
talking and Dr. Phil.
I'm doing pretty well. Had a good day at work, walked my dog, had dinner. Now I'm down here ready to discuss.
Noah talk.
Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon.
My line.
I'm doing great. Just ate dinner. I'm chilling. I won a few solo queue games. Life is great.
And Dr. Phil.
I am doing fantastic, thank you.
All right. Man, it sounds like you guys are you're just a ball full of joy, Dr. Phil, but you know what? It's all good because I'm sure we'll get a lot more out of you when we get into our updated, and I think this would be our last 32 team power ranking, Chelsea, since we're heading into playoffs, or is that wrong?
I don't know what I'm gonna do for playoffs.
Okay.
I'm I'm very good at not planning ahead. That's my talent, so we'll have to see what
Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. But I guess we shouldn't keep the viewers waiting any longer, and we should just get this reveal going and get this show going. And our guests, as your team pops up or any other team that you thought wouldn't be where they were, feel free to interject and give us your thoughts and opinions. Hiccup, let's go ahead and take it away, please. And there's our first team, Nameless Love Stage.
Yeah,
Hello.
a team has to be last, and Nameless Love Stage being one of the two teams that has certifiably boomed for the rest of the split.
Yeah.
I put them below the other team because I think it's funny that they got my boy Sunrai in the jungle. Sunrai, one of my favorite gold players, doing his best. But this team, they looked to be like a decent force coming into the split. They
Mm-hmm.
had Kyle, they had 0-2, except, with any roster with 0-2, it's like a ticking time bomb because that dude's not okay. He booms every team he's on. And this is sort of the result. This sad excuse of a roster that didn't end up finishing the split. They like a firecracker. They had a beautiful start and then exploded.
Yeah, they did. Any thoughts from any of our guests, or should we just move on to the next one? Because we all agree with that.
I mean, they FF the split, so they
I
got to be
honestly,
way down there.
I expected them to do a lot better than what they did. I know a lot of the players that were on that roster, and it was very unfortunate.
I am completely unfamiliar.
Yeah, and the roster definitely changed a lot. So yeah, let's just move on to the next one because we are going through 30, the whole 32.
Yeah,
So
you shouldn't spend too much time on.
exactly, like yeah.
Yeah, and next we have the other team that's absolutely turbo boomed, Dreadnought Tempest. Unlucky. I don't know what happened with that one. I think Noatak knows some of the players, but they
Mhm.
boomed. Let's see. What the highlights of their split involve 2-0ing TA Sentinels before booming. That was
Mhm.
funny. Um, but yeah, other than that, I don't know if they actually like did anything. Thoughts?
From what I know, the manager kind of gave up and just gave the roster to the ADC, and he kind of just boomed the team. I played with a top laner for like 8 or 9 months. He's a very good player. You just have to know how to use him, and he definitely performed a few games, but they just didn't use him right in the rest of the games.
Yeah. I want to hear your thoughts, DrPhilandChill, as you've played this team.
It was definitely our one of our embarrassing moments. But it's better to know. It's good to know that we weren't their only victory for their same strength all split, and they actually had a little bit of boom. So that's better. But
Wait, they got a
Yeah.
complete match win against you guys?
yeah, they 2-0'd
Yeah,
us. We had a crucial error, which I won't go into, but
I'll go into it. I'll go into it. They blinded Camille into not a Jax main, and then Jax dropped 18 kills as one would do, you know.
I'll
Wait, did you
elaborate
give
on that.
Jax main his Jax?
Yeah, I'll elaborate on that. One of our
Oh my
coaches, I'll just put him
god.
on the spot. He took our top laner in practice tool or custom team and had practiced the Camille Jax matchup for 5 minutes and said it was really good if you got a head level before first wave or like before first back. So we had
Was
5
it
minutes of
legit
practice on
that?
it, and
True.
yes.
I did beat Fireflans in a 1v1 Camille first.
And he was like, "This
Yeah.
guy cannot play Jax." We just give it to him, and that griefed our mental for the entire series. So
Yeah, I mean, legit Sack is a very good player, but I think he might have been overestimating the capabilities of your top laner.
All right,
Think what
let's move
happened.
on. Let's move on because we ain't even into the real content just yet. What's number 34? Is Hiccup? Oh, Ninetales Arctic.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
them ranked 32 in the
Okay.
first one. So this is
Yeah.
like, this is progress, guys. Granted, they are only above the two teams that FF the splits, but you know, life's about those small moments and those small progress that you make.
Okay.
I don't have anything else to say. Unlucky, I guess.
I don't think anyone else does either, right? We can just next team
Yeah.
name TBD. They lost to Horizon. Did they
Yeah, they
really?
got
Wait, why is that
they got
funny?
two. They had two of my. It's funny because Horizon's dog shit. That's why it's funny. No, this team. I don't know what they did, man. They showed up, got slapped, moved on.
Was this Horizon with Gregorio or after Gregorio?
This was with Gregorio, which
Okay.
is partially why they lost. Yeah, there's a lot of like these teams in like the low 20s, which are
Mm-hmm.
just like, there's not much to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep. All right. We can move on. ZMG Frost. Please find your
Yeah,
mid laner therapist.
I mean, ZMG Frost is like the other bad teams, except their mid laner like talks and also is like weird. Like, dude, are you okay? Do we need to talk about anything? Man's like, come on. Also, they're bad. It's unlucky. Actually, okay. Funny thing about this team though, before I move on, with the way that all the FFs in the schedule works, DMG Frost is in Group B, and if I do this right, they're actually not eliminated from playoffs because of the way Nameless Umbra's scheduling works. It's Nameless Umbra lost to Nameless Love Stage before Love Stage ended up booming. They ended up booming, and then ZMG sort of took the wins off of the Boomed roster. So this team can actually make playoffs as the 5th seed, which is hilarious, and make some first round exit candidates. They do play 9 NTF Arctic, so it's like not unlikely that they'll be able to win, which is why I think they're streaming this match on Wednesday. But it's really funny that's a 28th team, because of how scheduling and FFs and stuff works, might be making playoffs.
Yeah. And with that being said, I have no other comments. Anyone else want to talk about this team? They are in Group B, I believe, right?
That's Noatak.
They picked like 4 tanks against us, so we R5'd Vayne, and we asked our mid laner if she's ever played Ezreal, and she said in ARAM twice. So we gave her Ezreal.
And how was that match against them? Pretty quick?
Not quick, but we won.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. Undying Tyrant filler arc. Explain.
And the explain is that I literally do not know anything about them.
Oh, this was actually
They lost.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I mean, they lost to the TA Tropics team and the Kuma Shurikens. And they've also lost like most other games that they've played, I think. So it's like, I don't know. Unlucky. Yeah, they're 0-6 right now. I think them and TBD are the only 2 teams that do not have a single series win as of now.
I kind of feel bad for them because I remember they were in the first split of CCS that I played in back when it first all started, and they got really far in. I also faced them in BOL, Plat, and they also got really far in that too. So it's kind of surprising seeing how good they did in those leagues, and now they're just kind of getting roasted.
Yeah,
It's Marshall on my phone. So
that was
sorry.
Marshall, by the way, for any of our viewers at home who were like, "Who's this guy?"
Yeah, shout out to Phone Marshall getting on his phone to be part of the podcast. You have to appreciate the
I
commitment.
should be home in like 5 or 10. So
Then we get you on cam, right?
Need to see me in all my glory. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So this is the only team that KFC Wicked Zingers 2-0'd, I'm pretty sure. Everybody else we've 2-1 or lost to. So that says something.
Yeah,
Well, they're not a bad team. It's just like, I guess they don't know how to close out a series or win the game, but they're not. Their players are all good.
From this team, this was like a 1st or 2nd seed exit in the playoffs in BOL. They did get first rounded in BOL, but I think they were actually pretty good during the regular season. So
Yeah, they were predicted to win the entire thing. It was us and them that predicted to win the entire thing. If you remember that Noatak when we were on Ruby together.
Yeah.
I don't think Noatak would forget that he was on Ruby with like a few months ago.
Yeah.
But I think an important point.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. No, go ahead. Make your point, and then we'll move on to the next team.
Yeah, the last important point about this is that we hear about Undying Tyrants having like that sort of, I don't want to say like legacy, but like they've played in leagues, they did decently well. Like they did okay in BOL. They kind of like first round exited after having a good regular season. I think part of that is like they're in Group A, which I think is, I mean, my take is that Group A is the strongest group overall. And so I think that sort of like shows that like a team that has experience is kind of getting absolutely turbo smashed. Which is, that's more of a point about group strength. But let's continue.
Yes, please. Team A Tropics, your sister team, Dr. Phil.
Yeah, Dr. Phil, what are your thoughts on the other TA team in the CCS Platinum?
I was actually on a version of this team, and before the split, then some things happened. But it seems that they're a self-admitted for fun team, and they've, as was stated in the previous power ranking.
Yeah.
I thought you meant they said that.
No.
I mean, Yoveric did tell me that they were like kind of for fun.
What's going on with the numbers in their name?
It's
that?
a reference to a movie, I think.
Oh, okay.
Paneer won't. I think that's the saddest part. Paneer won't like commit to the bit. So now you got like 4 players on one page, and then they're just Paneer. I mean, I love Paneer.
It
Paneer
was
is
just
telling
3
you
for
to
most of the
find him.
split.
Yeah, that's true. Jer also didn't change
Jared
his
did not
name.
have it.
Unlucky. Well, they are
Ge-
coached by my favorite player, Yulveric. So shout out to Yulveric. He a real one.
Gecko, you
Coach
got any
kinda
thoughts
hot
on this
too,
team?
so.
Because they're in your group.
Yeah, I remember that we got flamed for not 2-0ing them. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I did blame you for not 2-0ing them. Why didn't you 2-0 them?
It was like our first game together, and like I've been trying to say, everybody had way higher expectations for us than we did for ourselves.
I don't
Gotcha.
know. What we'll talk about that more when we get into your section, but it is. You guys are an enigma as we head on to Team 25.
Sensei Squad. Okay, I just realized that we haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, they're kind of dog. I mean, I think a lot of the reason this team isn't working isn't because, I mean, the individual players are like pretty bad, but I think there's a big team cohesion problem that's going on with the
Mhm.
roster. I mean, they swapped out their top laner to Nick Walls, but I don't think that's really changed much. They're very eliminated from playoffs, so unlucky. I think you just scrap the team. JP, go use your money for better things, but yeah, that's. They did get one series win. Let me check who
Wasn't
they
it
beat.
FF though?
Was it? That
Was
would have
it?
been really funny.
I think it was an FF to be quite
Turns out
honest.
when King Clifford doesn't
Yeah,
have a
they
support
did
playing
win off
top
of
laner,
NFF.
it's not
That
Yeah.
is that is true. Noatak did play against King Clifford in what was it? That dog league
OCL.
OCL, and King Clifford smurfed. He had a smurfing top laner, and now he has Nick Wallace, which
Actually, I used to
unlucky.
play with King Clifford too. A few
Yeah,
VRs
I
ago.
played with King Clifford in those in-houses, and let me tell you, he is the most dog water player I've ever had the misfortune of being on the same rift as.
And let's go to 24.
Yeah, please stop me. I will just rant about him for an hour.
Akuma Shurikens. That's why I got my popcorn here, because this is a show.
Okay, so the Akuma Shurikens roster, like if you've been paying attention to the roster changes, it is. I like I said in the subtitles, it's a train wreck in motion. I think Alive has been like playing 3 different roles. They had I'm Snowboy, who was really good, and then he had to step out, so then they put Mori in. And then he was gonna step back in, and then he ranked out by hitting D1. And now they have this abomination of a roster. And I mean,
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say Mori hit D1?
no, Mori didn't hit D1. The mid laner hit D1. Mori left to go.
Oh,
Mori joined Glaive's roster.
okay, okay.
I don't know if he's playing, but he joined the roster. So, Mr. Gecko, this is also another team in your group. What are your thoughts on? Have you played them yet? You have
We
not.
play
You played
them
last-
tomorrow. If we win, I think we are third, unless IDF beat Doggo.
Yeah, that's
They
not
have to.
happening.
IDF have to get. They have to be. We just have to have one more win differential against better than IDF.
I saw the tail in the corner of your camera at first, and I was like, "What is that?" And then the dog came. So
That's
I was
Wesley.
nice dog.
Yo, shout out to Wesley. Yeah, homie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're a
He
real one.
appreciates it. He's,
Um,
let's see. Let's visit him. He's down
okay.
here looking all cute.
Yeah, this is content.
Hey, the Wicked Zingers got the dog. Are you gonna dress him up as a mascot if you guys make it to like the finals or something?
I could see that happening, but I'm not gonna go ahead and buy the outfit now.
Okay, all right, cool.
Next, we
All right, so,
have
yeah.
Horizon Gaming. This is Horizon Gaming without Gregorio.
Oh, come on, that subtitle.
What, guys? I can't. What is this take, man? They win a 5v4 and then they act like they're going to make playoffs. Really funny. I don't know.
They weren't even coming at who was it? ID Clips in Trash Talk that day. I forgot they were responding to somebody else, and then everyone just smelt blood and just went for him.
I don't know. I'm with Bubster. They deserved it. I will say they replaced their supports Killatron with this J Core guy, and the new support is definitely like an upgrade. You know, he is fully living, breathing human. Don't know if I can say that about the old support, but losing
Darn,
Gregorio at the end of the split is sort of just. I mean, they weren't making playoffs anyway, but it's a sad end to a sad team.
Scorio has gone on to play a real sport, basketball, and become the next NBA legend we might see one day. But unfortunately, Marshall is not. He's reconnecting, so he's not here. So we can't ask him any more about Horizon in his group. So I guess we'll. Oh yeah, we already moved on to the next one. Thank you,
Yep.
Hiccup. Banditos.
Rod and Banditos. I did put them exactly one above Horizon to make a point. This roster is it's okay. I mean, despite the circumstances, losing to Horizon,
Mhm.
whatever, even still, they've had a pretty unlucky split. They got 2-0'd by Glacial Charm in week 5, which I think really sealed the deal on their playoff hopes.
Mhm.
Because I think Glacial Charm is like the staunch defenders of that final spot, and once they've already lost, I think it's gonna be. They might be able to qualify, but it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be an uphill battle. If Glacial win their series against, actually, Glacial plays against
I don't.
Goldfish.
I
Oh,
don't think they can get in.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they're done. So
It comes down to like game differential and stuff. I don't think it's possible for them to make it, which is unlucky
no,
because
I
there's
mean Glacier already clinched on the standings unless
yeah,
Flay is
yeah,
wrong.
Glacial.
So
No, play is right because Rodham and Horizon have such horrible
yeah,
game scores. It's
yeah,
unlucky. They gave it their best shots.
yeah,
Like they're not a horrible team. They're sort of this bottom middle of the pack, just under that playoffs cut. But
yep,
get back in the lab. Maybe not run it back with the
exactly.
exact same roster, but they had their moments.
Yeah. Nameless Umbra. Oh, I forgot about them for a second. Wow, I'm surprised they're this high. What was their score? Hold up.
They're 2
Oh,
and
they're a
4.
playoff team. Never mind. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
fair.
about that,
That's fair.
and Noatak plays them on tomorrow, but it's about Nameless Umbra. I talked about ZMG Frost with the playoffs due to scheduling. Nameless
Mhm.
Umbra might actually not make playoffs because they got kind of unlucky with when they played each team. But they play against Noatak's team tomorrow, which is not exactly an easy match.
Hell
Like,
no.
yeah, like Noatak's bad, but the rest of the team is good. So it might be difficult for them to win. And then if ZMG win, stuff with game score gets really weird. But it's definitely possible for, these guys not to make playoffs. And I think Nameless, I know ShadyGecko will recognize them from the lock-in tournament. I remember talking to one of the Nameless players, I forget who, but they said they scrimmed you guys before lock-in and they like 3 or 2-0'd you or something. And then they beat you in the first round to lock-in. And I was like, wow, these guys are really KFC's fathers. Thoughts on that, ShadyGecko?
Yeah, they're really KFC's fathers. And we lost. And we lost to them. I lost to them twice at 2-0-0-2 in Aegis, but there were
yeah.
some technical difficulties with that one. But still, 0-5 to Nameless Umbra. So.
Damn. Damn.
And yet we're finishing third and they're finishing fifth. So I don't know. I guess lock-in was just a joke.
You guys are currently
Fifth?
finishing fourth, actually.
They're mostly.
We'll be third. We'll talk about it when we get to Wicked Zingers.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Okay.
it.
All right, moving on.
Now we get to top 20, which is
Yeah.
DZG Olympus. So technically 20 teams make playoffs, but this
Mhm.
team's not making playoffs because they're in Group C. I just think, it's sort of a symptom of distribution of teams within the groups.
Yeah.
Someone please save this AD carry. This Gin and Tonic dude.
I honestly
What?
thought this would be like a bottom roster. Like going into
I-
it, my original power rankings, I had them very last.
Yeah,
So,
I did too. But this AD is like really good at League of Legends. I feel bad for him.
And he's in Dr. Phil's group. Dr. Phil, thoughts on this?
I think we played these guys really early.
Mm-hmm.
I had to pull up the game.
You played them week 4. You guys won 2-1.
Yeah, we went through a little arc of 2-1ing every series for a while there.
Yeah.
But no, remember the AD carry? Was he obviously the Jin player? I think we banned
Yeah.
it most games. But
Uh,
yeah, he was pretty
skip
good.
drafting. Yeah.
Oh,
I watched that
Marshall
dude play League of
is
Legends.
back
He is.
in the. Okay. Hey, there we go. We got Marshall now on cam as well, by the way. Well, at least on Ninja.
Well, I'm back. I'll put my cam on Discord too.
Don't worry, Hiccup will get you in.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. About the interruption, go.
That's okay. TLDR save gin tonic. This I remember the top side. Back when Dorado Delta was a league team and not a TFT team. We all I remember about their top side was we scrimmed them like way back when. It was I remember the name like Octofu, Power over Ethernet, and Mobster Penguin. And I don't know if you guys know Nuffy Nuffy is my mid laner, and they kind of camped him, and Nuffy doesn't like being camped, so he started talking shit in the lobby chat, and Nuffy's proceeded to drop like 11 kills on Silas game 3 and absolutely hate crime to him. So I always remember Mobster Penguin as Nuffy's son.
Gotcha.
Yeah, looking back at it now,
19.
this
Oh,
yeah, I
Glacial
do remember this.
Charm. Oh, my fault. Go ahead, Dr. Phil. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We can keep going.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 2 leagues, 1 first round exit. Wait, is that what other league are they in that they're gonna first round exit?
They play in CCS and they also play in Titan, whatever their Plat League is called.
Okay.
It's I mean the subtitle just a play on the ADC's name, but this team is they're sort of the
Realize that.
gatekeepers for Group D. Marshall, I believe you guys have played them already.
Yeah, we faced them. I mean, they're not a bad team, but their top laners group, but it was very underwhelming. And now they replaced them, so.
Yeah, you played back when my boy Sigma Chad Victor was on the roster, right?
Yeah, he was their team's focal point. If he didn't pop off, they kind of lost. So I beat him down pretty easily, and we won the series.
Yeah, then they kicked him.
Okay.
Yeah, this team is kind of middle of the pack. Yeah.
Yeah.
18.
Shout out to Elmo too, but yeah. 18. Oh,
Just waiting on our wonderful producer.
it's okay. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, maybe he went to the bathroom real quick. Oh, there it is. Oh shit! There we go.
Marsha, what are your thoughts on this team?
Oh shit!
It's kind of hard to not be
18.
biased, but I think we're pretty good. I think we're definitely underrated, but we've had a rough past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll
How
show
can
up this
newbie
week.
rated so high when they're so trash?
Hey, it is what it is.
The copy pasta, don't worry, he's not blaming you.
Yeah, it's definitely a copy pasta.
I know.
Okay.
I like the copy pasta, so.
What I will say about new is that they okay, my rankings of Group D is like I don't want to say it's skewed because obviously I'm the best analyst to ever exist, but I watched that Goldfish ID Eclipse series and I watched how horribly both teams played League of Legends and seeing that they're sort of like the top teams in the group, you know, like Goldfish and like ID Eclipse were doing like that bad on the Rift and they both 2-0 new. It's like, I don't know.
I mean, you look at Goldfish, Mechie's a fine top laner. He plays his weak side, that's what he does. Gets carried by his bot lane, that's what it is. And the other team, ID Eclipse, is just a mid lane team. XKP doesn't pop off, they kind of just lose.
I want to hear. I don't know if you guys, if anyone else in the
exactly.
has opinions on Dorado Gaming New.
I think I know everybody but their jungler in that roster. I was a sub for Blobby in ages, and I had Muchai sub in for my ADC in VRD, and she had some really good games. I think she's really good. I played with Marshall, and I've played with King. I think everybody's individually really good. I just don't know much about the team synergy itself. So yeah.
Dr. Phil or Gecko, any thoughts on where New is currently? Because you might run into them. Well, actually, wrong. Who's gonna run into them?
Dr. Phil will.
Dr. Phil might. Yeah. wrong day.
I haven't been
Okay.
following Group D too closely, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, I think we've had a rough 2 weeks. We're gonna bounce back though. This is what it is. I mean, Goldfish
Okay.
also lost, but they still had a head against us. So I think we 2-0 this week.
Where are you right now?
Let's
You're
hope it doesn't
y'all are 2 and 3. What is the bracket like? Because at this rate, you might. Oh shit! If Goldfish, oh wait, hold on. Yeah, if Gold. Oh no, never mind. It's cross crew.
Goldfish,
It's cross crew. They're not gonna face each other just yet. Damn it! I was trying to see if Matt G would get a first round game against New. Anyway, moving on. 17. Reign of Kings. L plus Branko.
Who are these guys? Like,
Reign of Kings is a hot topic for me because Brankles, they win one series against Gamma and then Brankles suddenly thinks he's a better analyst.
And before you do, I have something that they wanted Brankles to say, but since he's not here tonight, I'm gonna say it for him.
All right, say it for
So
him.
he wants me to he wanted me to tell them, Hastega, by the way, that if anyone asks about us, we're going into the hyperbolic time chamber and we're going to win this thing. It ain't gonna be pretty, but mark my words, our experience and fearlessness will shine through when playoffs begin. All right.
Aren't they all old? I don't think a hyperbolic time chamber is the best idea.
I'm embarrassed
get
for you,
more than a
Redacted, for
hyperbolic
having to
time
read that.
chamber.
What are they gonna do? They're gonna come out with arthritis, man.
I don't
Oh,
think even getting
so-
trading by a Wheeze would help them, to be honest.
Okay, hold on. I
think they
do have
already have the
legitimate
win
analysis.
together.
I do have legitimate analysis on this team besides flaming them. Reign of Kings had they had a good start. They were 3-0 or whatever. They did have this small quirk, which ShadyGecko is probably familiar with, only 2-1ing in their victories. I believe they 2-1 Sensei Squad. They 2-1 they went 2-1 in their win against Gamma, and then they 2-1 DZG. I think their inconsistency is really showing and it's getting exploited now. I believe recently they took 2 series losses. They got 2-0'd by our resident DrPhilandChill, and they also got 2-1'd by Glaive, and it's sort of a downward trajectory here. I'll pass it over to DrPhilandChill now.
I was just about
You
to say,
just
yeah.
you just played them. What were your thoughts on them?
I expected more after all the hype, or
Ooh.
the hype from some people. But I've never seen a team ready up for game 2 faster, and so we all just took it as like a sign of tilt, I guess, and it kind of showed in game 2. Our game 1 wasn't that clean, but because we had a pretty crucial throw, but we brought it back. But I don't know. They didn't feel like one of the stronger teams in C. I feel like our games against DZG were harder, mainly because of the AD carry popping off on Zeri.
And just like Dr. Phil got no chill tonight. Good lord.
How long have you been waiting to say that, Marshall? I
A
want to
very
know.
long time.
All right, I'm glad. I'm glad you managed to get that in.
All right, 16. There, thank you, Hiccup. Perfect. Matt G is always mean to me, and it makes me sad. What, you care about the opinion of Matt G?
No, I just use that as a segue. Matt G, man, I want to repair our friendship. Feels like it's just turned into hate and viciousness. Matt G, please, if you hear this, we can talk. We can be friends. I promise. Anyways, Goldfish Gaming. I have them
Very
as
hot topic in the CCS as always.
yeah, the Godfish Goobers. They've had a really I describe Goldfish as a very inconsistent team. They got 2-1s by Titan, Gaming Hyperion, and they, it was a close series, but if you're trying to be the best team, if you're trying to win, you can't be dropping those types of series. They also had that absolute abomination of a series against ID Eclipse, which even as I talk about it now, I get flashbacks from that series and how disgusting it was to watch. I asked Flay to find both teams, but he said no. Marshall, you guys had a pretty unlucky series against these guys, but I want to
We
hear
had a
your
very
pure.
off week. I will say that a lot of it's due to just adapting to the meta, as we call when we face them. We had a huge dragon change that came out, and a lot of objectives changed. And we were still playing like it was the previous batch, so we definitely screwed ourselves there. I will say a lot of respect for their team. They're definitely a good team. I think they all play their roles really well. Just I do think though that if we face them again, we will utterly annihilate them.
I love to see it, Marshall. Anyone else
think-
thoughts
Yeah,
on the
anyone
Goobers?
else? Exactly, because
I can't believe that Goldfish went from Okami in 4 words to Kaiser in 4 words. Mind blowing. I respect Kaiser a lot. We have similar mid lane like play style. I think he's like definitely one of the better mid laners into CCS. So
Yeah, Kaiser
wow, the
did.
dirt disrespect.
I mean, no, Kaiser did
mean-
drag Goldfish through that ID Eclipse series. He dragged all 4 of them across the finish line.
It was fun. I
Kaiser
mean,
is.
mostly popped off on the Nidalee in that one game. I remember
Yeah,
that game really
He-
what were
well.
they playing
I
against?
mean, I guess, but I feel like there also has to be some like I don't remember what that was a draft where they drafted like 4 AP champions and still won, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think
they ran Gragas
that
tank
all 3
that
games
game.
they had really crappy drafts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. That was a good Nidalee performance, but like if you're playing against some of the better junglers in the league and you lock Nidalee, you're going to get beat up in the face.
I think Nidalee is just kind of like picking like Darius top, where it's like you're kind of ego checking them. You're saying, yeah, if I'm better than you, I'm going to run you over. But if you're able to match me, I'm not going to do anything. And
And
Nidalee
let's
falls off
go
a
to
cliff too,
15
like level
now.
9.
There, Titan Gaming Hyperion. Their
Yeah.
merch is much worse than Exlo's. I checked. I don't even want to look at it then.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad merch. This is the Dragonclaw Cloud that they have renamed. They have summoner name changed. I don't even remember what their old solo lane summoner names were, but
Mm-hmm.
they just beat Goldfish in a pretty close series. I feel like they're both around equal in skill. Marshall, again, this is another Group D team, so I am gonna throw it back to you.
Yeah,
Guys,
I'm trying
I
to
believe
find
you
where we
guys
face them.
you guys played them back when they were called Dragonclaw Cloud, I believe. You guys played them week 2. You guys 2-1 them.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
We went
No,
to
no.
5 games against them in BOL semis. Actually, I think they were decent. I don't remember the games exactly, but
Oh, I remember them. Yeah, we only lost game because I played Olaf.
Okay.
And
Well,
ironically, I can't play Olaf to save my life.
okay. 14. TA Sentinels. All right, Dr. Phil, this your squad. So
Yeah, Dr. Phil, what are your thoughts on this specific placement? Like, do you
Well,
think
it's
they're
not
a
a Chelsea power rankings without some atrocious takes. So
well, I wanted to hear what Chelsea, why you put them here first, and then Dr. Phil, you can go ahead and reply to that. So Chelsea, give us your reasoning.
All right. So my reasoning, first of all, this is an improvement from the preseason power rankings. I had you guys 16th last time.
it's true.
Wow,
This is a record.
two spots. Wow.
This is 2 spots up.
Hey, rather 2
I
spots up and 2 spots down.
I casted your guys' game against Gemma, which frankly was disgusting. I think part of the reason why like I have to like rate TA Sentinel down is that I never know if they're going to have a good supports player.
Uh-huh.
They had Justin, and then another easy poach for Dorado Gaming happened, and then they got this like Moxified dude who is subhuman at the game. I'll say that. It was not good gameplay. And now I don't know who their new support is. Right now they have I Am Siddhis listed, who seems okay. They also got Snow Life, who like Snow Life,
Oh,
you
that's
know,
right. Yeah.
Snow Life, my son, my flesh and blood. All I know about Snow Life is he threw a temper tantrum after I beat him on PG Raijin, so I mean, I'm sure he's probably like fine in plat leagues, but you know,
He's definitely a
there's
Plat League only player.
I mean like it's like one thing with the gameplay, but like
Wait,
the mental
wait. We gotta get Dr. Phil's thoughts now before you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Alright,
we've
sorry.
definitely been in support roulette since week 2. A couple of our sub supports were waiting on them for them to be eliminated from APL because they
Mhm.
can't really play Thursdays until then. Cynic and Snow. So we're just
Oh.
kind of in like a pseudo starter mode right now. So this is kind of just filling in. So that's
Okay.
been a bit of a nightmare. But other than that, I think things have been going well for the players who are consistently there.
Shady and Noatak,
And
any
obviously
thoughts on
that Gamma
Oh, my
series,
fault.
sorry,
Go ahead.
and that
No, go
Gamma
ahead. Go
series
ahead.
on stream was definitely a low point. We don't
Sure.
always perform
Was
like that. That was
something.
I was sort of giga mental blocked that series for a few reasons, and I played terribly, but
I mean,
it's
I'm glad
not
you
how
said
we
it.
always play.
Yeah, but you know
Everyone's
that's
got bad weeks, so
that's
it's okay.
the
Yeah.
bitch of these tier lists is that it's all what you put on what you put in
Yeah.
public that gets accounted for. Now, Birdo, is he the same jungler that played last night in CCS?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe
Diamond?
he just made finals in Diamond.
Yeah, Birdo
he
is
was pretty
really good at the game. I was
Wait, Birdo's
casting
on 2 teams?
Birdo's
Oh, yeah,
on
duh.
Diamond on We Love Soulbird. That's Birdo,
Oh,
dude.
shit,
I remember
yeah.
casting Birdo, and I was like, yeah, man, someone save this man. Yeah, Birdo did really well both in the series against Goldfish last night and in the series against Gamma.
He
I
wanted me to
definitely think that,
mention. Oh, sorry,
yeah.
paused.
No, you go.
He wanted me to mention that he's a very big fan of limit testing, and it shows sometimes. And sometimes those limits are how far he can push us in some of those series that we grief him. So,
Mentally?
more performance.
All right.
Yeah.
13.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
CDR Crustacean Nation. Crab Rave, Crab Rave.
All right, I feel like this is a take that I have to defend
Go
because
ahead,
currently
because they're coming for
TDR.
you.
Okay, TDR Crustacean Nation is currently 2-4 right
Yep.
now.
as they should.
And there's game
Don't
score
I-
7 and 8.
Right. So this is another thing that has to do with like group strength. I like whenever I'm like doing these rankings, I'm not just looking at like records because that's stupid and bad analysis. I like gotta like take into account like every single game that they've played, and they're sort of inverse of Wicked Singers, where Wicked Singers are like getting by in Group A by winning 2-1 every time. TDR Crustacean Nation has been taking a bunch of losses, and they've been just a bunch of unfortunate 1-2 losses. And I feel like when you're going like 1-2 against teams that are like, you know, at least in my opinion, that are like top teams like the Zingers, CB Rush, ID Frozen, that is at least proving something. You know, it's proving
I can
more
agree with
than
that.
a lot of the teams in other groups have proven at least. And you know, looking at this roster, like especially Shane 23, Joby, I'm not sure I'm on the Skifter hype train yet. But I think there's like the talent is kind of there, and I've seen like, you know, glimpses of potential. I think
Mhm.
what's going to be really unfortunate for these guys is because they're pretty much locked into the 5th seed of Group A, they have to play the 4th seed of Group B, and because Noatak's team threw against MNG, Rage, and Storm,
Oh my
most
god.
most
I just
likely
realized that.
they're going to be playing against Moonstone Gaming. I mean, they either end up playing against Moonstone Gaming or Hard Hat Zone, both of which like aren't opponents you want to really face in like first round of lower bracket. You know, like
Yeah.
one of these two really strong teams is going to be eliminated. I think if Noatak's team ends up in 4th, which I think is the most likely scenario, like because I think Hard Hat's gonna 2-0. I think
Who does Hard Hat play? Oh,
and
they
then
play
yeah, Hard
MMG.
Hat play
Ooh.
and Hard Hat plays MNG, and I think even if MNG gets 0-2'd and Noatak's team 2-0s, Noatak's team still below
Yeah.
them. And I think if
I mean,
Noatak's team plays against
MNG just got like nerfed with the Udyr thing. Their jungler is literally a 2 trick, so
yeah, and you got 2-0'd by them, nice. But
he had hit
I
stick.
think
Calm down.
it's gonna be an unfortunate, you know, it's gonna be an unfortunate split for the Crabs 'cause I think they have potential to like challenge for one of these like later playoff spots, but
Yeah.
you
I
know
think
they're
they're
kind of
dog.
getting trapped.
Gecko, what are your thoughts? Because they are your
Yeah.
group representatives as well. They're in your group.
Yeah.
I can say
Yeah,
that.
I took a look at the matches, and I do remember that one. We absolutely stomped them in the first game, and then we were like, let's limit test a little bit, and we had a pretty close game. But I remember the Zach got just like insanely strong because we overchased, and then the third game we stomped them again. So I don't have the best memories of them, but they did take that game off us when we gave them the rope to hang ourselves.
Okay.
So
12.
you're Yeah, to go up to 12.
ID Clips.
Oh, it's XKB's team and a bunch of nobodies. Cool. Actually, no, I like Bubster too.
Yeah. ID Eclipse is a team that I don't know. I think I might have ranked them too low. I think my mind is still poisoned from that Goldfish series. Like, if I definitely ranked a team too low, it's probably this ID Eclipse team.
Yeah.
But I can't get that series out of my mind, man.
I mean,
It
looking
haunts
at
me
this
at night.
team, like if you did like role rankings and whatnot, you'd have XKB in first, and everyone else you'd be lucky to get like 7th. Like XKB
Yeah.
is insanely talented.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean,
and he's by far his team's
BKP,
best
which
player.
yeah, I mean BKP, which also impresses me how you managed to mispronounce 4 letters. But BKP, I think, is definitely like the shining star of the team. Yeah, I've seen Bubster do some things that has been okay, but the rest of the team isn't like bad per se. They sort of just get like outshone by how good BKP is. I think BKP is like really good at the game. It's it's like they've been playing in Group D, which I think is like the worst group. So it's like I'm
Yeah.
more unsure about this team than the others. That's why I have them lower.
And 11. Glaive
Yeah.
Bing. Wow, Glaive Bingus. Wow, I just realized we haven't seen them yet. Huh.
Yeah, I mean this is DNX
Wait,
from last.
Panzor is a support? Oh, and
No,
wait,
they just
changed
swapped.
the
They,
name.
They changed the name.
they,
I
yeah,
forgot.
yeah,
I remember
Right.
Panzora being a top laner, so I was confused.
yeah. I don't know why they did that.
I think it's just a troll the stream and
It
all that,
is.
which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is.
No,
Yeah.
Yvonne got mad at Flay, so they swapped the names.
I know Panzor is really good. I don't know why he's been playing Swain top, but he is.
That's
Teams
Panzer
somehow
for
don't
you.
punish it. I know Panzor is an excellent GP, but I don't think he's excellent on other picks.
Do
Also,
you
he's
clear
kind of
him, Marshall? I need to know.
I clear everyone here. Come on now.
Wait, the real question is, he's in Group C with Dr. Phil.
Yeah,
So,
they
what are
haven't
your
played
thoughts
yet.
on that? Oh, they haven't. Did they play tomorrow?
They
Or
played tomorrow.
Thursday?
Thursday. I want to hear your
Thursday.
thoughts on the matchup, though.
Yeah,
Mr.
absolutely.
Chill and / Chill.
I've already said we're going to win, so I'm not going to go back on that. If I get added in trash talk after, so be it. But
Is it a 2-0?
I think this goes 3. I gotta be.
Oh, okay.
I don't like. I'm being realistic about it. But I
You
think
gotta
we.
be respectful of
Game
it too.
score,
They're not a
series
bad team.
score. Winners or losers, who cares about that? Which bot lane's gonna win?
We scale. We don't really like play the lane too much. So which bot lane wins is whether we enter or not, I guess.
All right.
So you're saying you're picking Jinx, so you're gonna pick Draven every game? That's what I'm hearing.
I'm saying that, and whether or not it's true can be in your however you
You
perceive
can neither
that.
confirm nor deny.
Yeah, let's keep moving.
Yeah,
You're gonna be
let's
the
move on to
scaling Draven. I like it.
X-Flow Pink.
This team confuses me, man. They are like 4-2, and I kind of blinked, and then I realized that they are like contesting for second in Group C. From what I know, their bot lane was like before the season. I was like, yeah, they have a good bot lane, but the rest of the team is like kind of mid. But then their mid laner recently has been kind of popping off on like these like melee carries, like the Sylas, the Akali, Yasuo. He's been kind of, he's been gaming. And I know DrPhilandChill, you've played against this team week 1 where you 2-0'd them. What were your thoughts on them back then, and do you think they've improved since then, or do you think that the rest of the group is like bad? Like, what's the story on these guys, Dr. Phil?
Well, we 2-0'd them, but they are very long games. They're not clean, and that was also before Zeri nerfs. So, I don't remember details, and I haven't been really closely following them since. But they've obviously made a big comeback, so that's got to be respectable. I wouldn't say they're one of the weaker teams we played, even though we 2-0'd them. From what I
Looking
remember, at
forward to when
least.
Riot removes Zeri. It's gonna be a great day. That champ is just not balanceable for League. Just
That's
rework her again.
tomorrow.
Don't
Just
mention
like-
that champion name around Marshall. Please, someone go to the next team,
just-
quick.
Number
quick,
9.
quick,
Number
quick,
9.
number 9.
IDF. Oh my God, that subtitle. Jesus Christ, Chelsea.
I love IDF. I love Paris. I love Moobly. I love Watercats. I love Dallas, and I even love Sokarch. They're a fun team. They won lock-in, which I think was an overperformance from them. I'm gonna toss it over to Mr. Gecko in a second because he just played them, but I think they've sort of settled into sort of the middle of the pack Group A team that I sort of thought they would. Gecko, you just beat them. What are your thoughts on that?
So going into the series, having lost to them, or going into scouting, having lost to them in Aegis pretty depressingly against Dallas, I definitely thought that they were going to be like, again, playing around Dallas kind of comp and gameplay. But then when I was scouting them and taking a look at things, it became clear that they mostly played around top, which I thought was interesting. So we warmed up throughout the series. Our first game was quite the back and forth. There were some hiccups in the bot lane. But then we were able to kind of win through topside. And then the second game, they absolutely destroyed us. I don't even remember what happened. It was just badness. And then the third game, we absolutely destroyed them, but it took us forever because we were like, I don't even know. We were just being extra cautious and we're like, well, we scale way better than them anyway, so we'll beat them. But I definitely felt like the game should have been more like game 3, that we were making some uncharacteristic mistakes due to some IRL stuff that was going on. So I think if they can figure out their identity and like play around Dallas a little more, they can be better than 9. But
Why are you helping them?
I'm sure they know this stuff.
He wants to make it interesting.
Exactly.
It'll be more
I gotta
fun
give
that way.
respect at least, you know. Yes, they were shit, but they can be better.
I know Nubly, Watercat, and Sokarch from playing Stellaris, where I commit untold war crimes that I dare not list here. But I think they're all good.
All right. And number 8, the top 8 now. Let's get it. Wow. M&G, Raijin Storm.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let Noatak talk about what happened in the series. I just want to hear some cope on this slide. Noatak, go.
Okay. Game 1, our top laner was having issues. So last second, before we lost all of our bans, I decided that I was going to play top and we were going to get a gold for support. And then game 2, the game was playable for our top laner, so we put him in and we were going to win the game, and then Zeri thing happened. I think our jungler missed the Viego W on the Zeri, and then she just did Zeri things and we lost the game. But,
Wait, they
can't wait
2-0'd you?
to-
I think they 2-0'd you,
Yes.
right?
They did.
Damn.
I can't wait for
Damn.
them to get first rounded, and then we'll play them in the losers brackets.
Sheesh.
Okay.
All right. Now with that official Noatissi statement out there, MNG
No,
Raijin
it's
Storm,
supposed
they've had like a sort of almost sleeper season. They lost to Omega, but with how strength of schedule worked before last week, they were sort of just feeding off of the bad teams in the group. So I was like, oh yeah, these guys are just gonna get exposed. But they're, say what you want. These teams, they've made the at least game 2 competitive against Moonstone, and I think Moonstone's like a really good team. So I do have to give them like the credit where it's due. Also,
Mhm.
they added, they swapped junglers after like lock-in or after one of the first few weeks, and they definitely got a jungle upgrade. So they've like made progress in terms of roster development. I have no idea who any of the rest of them are. I'm gonna keep it 150 with you. They are complete randoms to me, but like, I'll give them respect.
All right.
For
And
sure I know
7,
Sutek, but it's okay.
KFC. Here we go.
All right, Mr. Gecko.
Subtitle.
What are your thoughts on what are your
No,
thoughts on?
no. Your thoughts first, Chelsea, because
Okay,
I want
my
Gecko
thoughts
to
first.
respond to it. Yeah.
All right. I mean, I have had the pleasure of playing with Mr. Gecko on a funny little team called DNX, and
Oh yeah, duh. I forgot about
and
that.
well, I'll say like Mr. Gecko, it was an unfortunate end to the splits. I know your strengths, and you're really good at what you do, and I think once you guys sort of end up like locking in your team identity, which I think you guys have been making progress on for the past few weeks, it's gonna start to fall into place. You guys are gonna do things. I think your mid laner is also like pretty good. I don't really know about your top and support if I'm being honest, but I think rest of your roster is definitely like top caliber. It's not like your top end support are bad, but I think, you've got the pieces. You guys are sort of figuring it out. Someday we'll turn those 2-1s into 3-0 playoffs victories. I believe in you.
I just want to. I just want to also put it out there that I got Gecko to come on the podcast because I told him that people were talking shit about him, and he wanted to come defend his and his team's honor, especially him and Perky. So, all right, Gecko, go ahead. I just want to put that out there.
What you said is that Dorado Gaming was going to be on again, and I was like, I can't let that happen. So I got to get on.
I mean, you got me, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
Oh. Anyway, I think 7 is a great spot. I'm happy that we didn't drop lower. We have some consistency issues that we are working on. But I think that, we had one game against CBR, one of the series that we lost, where we stomped them. And then the next 2 games we got stomped. And I think that those were some like hands and like brains exploding and also draft issues. So like I could see the games being a lot closer in like a best of 5 if we're playing better. And then with Dorado Gaming, they definitely had our number in the second game. It felt kind of impossible to lose to them, and honestly, no real excuses except maybe some overeager, some flips top lane. But in the first game, things were really close despite a like very unfortunate beginning. So I think that we can, if we're all hitting our ceilings, we can be one of the better teams. But I'm not going to get like too overconfident until we can stop dropping games.
All right, there's the official PR statement from Mr. Gecko. Unfortunately, we don't say wrap because we have to do team number 6, the Hard Hat Zone. Hard Hat Zone's weird, man. Marcel will just pick Fiora, and then he'll win on it. And I don't get it. I don't get it, Marcel. What's going on in that head of yours? Hard Hat Zone's always been like a weird team. Obviously, they're returning from last split of the TCS with the same roster. But they have Llama, they have Marcel. I've definitely enjoyed seeing Bennett and the ADC Retroflexion, who used to be, I believe HHC Big Boy B was his name last splits. I definitely think that they've sort of stepped up from last split.
Names, bro.
Yeah, they've definitely like made strides to sort of adapt to the higher competition a split. Also have to shout out my boy Mooncake. He doesn't play like base. So yeah, I mean Noatak, you guys played against them 2-1 series. What were your thoughts on them?
I mean, nothing really happened bot lane because our bot lane is bad. We dropped
Your
the
bot lane is
game.
better. Their bot lane.
They're obviously their bot lane. Come on now.
My fault.
My mid laner, game 2 goes, hey guys, what does Lee Sin do? And that didn't go well. So we did unfortunately drop a game, but we did end up winning the series. So that's all that matters.
For context, the enemy mid laner was playing 15 kills on them.
Did he play Lee Sin?
Yes, he played Lee Sin mid.
Okay. Number 5. Moonstone Gaming.
Yeah, Moonstone Gaming. I couldn't think of a joke to put Noatissi in the subtitle, so I just dropped it there. Yeah. Team sort of
they were should win.
I mean, this team was number 2 in my preseason power rankings, and they've sort of had like some slip ups. They had that loss to Omega. Granted, they didn't have star support ADC whatever player, Noatak. And then they also recently had that loss to MNG after losing famous VRS champion Mommy Sky. So Noatak, what are your thoughts?
I think we have had a fun regular season. We are definitely, tightening up, getting some very funny picks ready for playoffs. We went through some roster changes and played with some subs and had some experimental drafts, but
Weren't y'all the Lucian jungle team?
Yes, we played Lucian jungle and Nami mid.
Was that in lock-in or was that regular season?
That was regular season against ZMG
Yeah.
Frost or whatever their name
You
is.
could play most things against CMG and still win, by the way.
Okay, well, yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Top
Into
4.
the top 4.
CB Rush.
Yeah, I was worried about CB Rush once they had that whole drama with their jungler leaving. But then Rutledge did what Rutledge does best and just found a better player.
Did he
As
also
much as
stop finding Vel'Koz a lot, or is that still a thing?
I haven't seen Vel'Koz in a while. I don't know if he's picked it, but he didn't blind it in the series that was streamed. So that's definitely, improvements there. As much as I like to flame Hunter Wolfsteal, he is like objectively like a pretty good player. He's been popping off, on his performances. He had a really good Xin Zhao game against ID Frozen. Rutledge has been doing Rutledge things in that consistent force. Also, our resident stats man, Glafortial has been having some, quiet hypercarry performances. Playing the Twitch, playing these late game insurance champions for the rest of the roster. And last week they had that dog ass motherfucker Kyle sub in. I don't know if he is there just to sub or to play. I mean, I think both supports are like fine. That little swiggly dude, also known as Insanity or Brandon. Both him and Kyle are very capable supports. Yeah, this roster is sort of, locked in. They've sort of handled all of the other teams in Group A besides Dorado. And, I'm excited to see them in playoffs.
I think Kyle's a really good addition
Yeah,
to the team. He's a good
he's
shot
yeah,
caller.
he's actually a little addition, and he even
He's actually a good
changed his
player.
name to CBR Love Me, by the way, now. So I'm pretty sure he's on the team.
TB Republican.
Gecko, you guys played them. You mentioned a little about your series on them. Do you have any further thoughts?
Yeah, I don't really know, how much, because like game 1 they could say like we were playing bad, and game 2 and 3 we could say we were playing bad. But I definitely felt like when they get leads, they are really really strong. This is like kind of just I've noticed at least a Rutledge team kind of thing. But then if they are behind, they do stuff like showing up to Dragon, 1.5 minutes early, or just random things like that. So I do like there are weaknesses there, but especially with Hunter, Wolfsteal, and presumably new better support, that they're going to be a really strong team.
All right.
Omega Gaming Obsidian. And Chiller Seasons is crossed out. Why?
So it's not being chillers. It's Omega. This
Is this a? I don't know anything about the Chillers org, so context, please.
I mean, these are perennial chillers, as Mr.
They're pretty
Gecko would
chill.
know.
I think they're pretty chill. They don't banter that much.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, I hit myself too. Don't worry.
Silver got some banter in last week on the podcast. I don't know if y'all caught that, but go on.
Yeah, I mean, Omega 7-0, only dropping 2 games, 1 to Moonstone, 1 to Hard Hat Zone. These guys are legit. I still think their top laner is bad, but if, you haven't dropped a series with him, then who am I to tell you what to do with your roster? I think these top 3 teams, I think definitely like are the same. I think there's like a small gap between like the top 3 and then like the rest of the top teams. I think once you get to Omega, they really have it like locked in, their game plan, their style. They have Delilah, who's an absolute monster on the Rift. And yeah, they're good. That's my assessment.
Here
Right.
comes the saddest part.
Number 2.
Can I just say real quick that
Oh,
I
go
take
ahead.
umbrage with saying that UBC Souter is a bad player. He is not even on an island. He's on like whatever is more remote than an island up there in the top lane. So he has to deal with
on a
like
raft.
0 resources. Yes, he's on a raft. Exactly. He's playing the game Raft, and he's got Bruce like circling him all day, and he still is able to contribute to team fights and stuff. So.
Gecko, do you remember what we did to him when we played him?
That was then, Now he's had Coach ShadyGecko, giving him tips and talking with him. I'm on their team in Aegis, so
Okay, understood.
Okay.
And number 2, Gamma, Dorado Gaming Gamma. Let me say the whole thing.
Yeah, Dorado Gaming Gamma. This team has been tearing through Group C. It seems they took their loss against Reign of Kings really, really, really personally, because they have not dropped a game since. They have.
Daddy Zol got in that voice chat afterwards.
I mean, they've had something to prove. I mean, they ran through DrPhilandChill. I'll give him a chance to give his thoughts in a second, but yeah, they seem to have really improved. After that loss, they sort of do what they do well. They all know their individual strengths, which I think is the sort of why that roster wins so much. They all know their role. Like Hazem's role is to ram his face into the enemy top laner and hope it works. Rare Candy and Kush, sort of that like foundation, that sort of stable rock. And then Carino and 17 are, that threat in the bot lane that you sort of can't ignore. So you have this like really stable mid lane, and you have both like really volatile sides, and it's definitely a hard style to play against. DrPhilandChill, what did they do to you?
I don't remember details about that game. I've kind of forgotten about it and moved past it. But I do think them losing to Reign of Kings is what solidifies Omega as the better roster. Personally.
I mean, even in the series against TA Sentinels, we saw like, I don't want to say cracks because they were like ahead the entire time, but some of that volatile side laning, specifically Hazem running it down a little bit. They definitely like have to be exploited. I think they're just good enough that you can't really do that to them. They've got, a roster that's firing on all cylinders. And yeah. Yeah,
I
one
would
more
And
team
personally
left for
put
that.
yep,
Gamma over
there
Omega,
it
but
is.
is
Number 1, Dorado Gaming Omega.
I gotta say, as the Dorado Gaming new top laner, it feels really bad them being all the way up here and we're all the way down there, but we'll prove to everybody that we should be up there with them.
Another easy prize pool for Dorado Gaming. I said in my preseason power rankings that once Omega figures out, plays with each other more, they'll eventually rise to number 1, and I think they have sort of proven me correct. I believe they've only dropped 2 games this entire split. One of them was where their jungler disconnected in the middle of the game. I think
You had like
I saw
6K ping or
I actually
something.
Yeah, that's-
casted that. He had like 8,000 ping. His internet was just going nuts.
he had 8,000 ping, and they still almost won because Scruff was so fed. I mean, I think this roster is just star power all around. Like, Scruff is crazy, Joker is crazy, Hoshi, one of the best supports I've ever played with. They got
Sana,
that.
aka Dojos, for those who may not know who is who. That's Dojos in the server, by the way.
He's the guy who doesn't stop talking in banner chat.
Exactly.
But I guess you can say it's kind of warranted giving his placement.
Yeah, that's Bozos.
And nothing happened August 1st.
Don't talk about August 1st.
Just did.
All right,
Okay.
but Gecko, any thoughts on Omega being our number 1 team?
Yeah, like I said, the first
Also-
game was pretty even, so I think that they
yeah.
are beatable.
Mhm.
But the second game, they just absolutely stifled us, and it didn't really feel like we super messed up anywhere. They were just doing really well. So if they play like that consistently, yeah, they can deserve the first spot, but they have to not play like the first game. So there's hope for those below number 1.
I would personally put Gamma above Omega, but I respect it.
Okay. And I know we are coming up on time, as I don't want to take away from some of your all schedules. You got scrims and things you want to get to. So we're just going to do last remarks as we head into the final week of the regular season, and we are prelude into playoffs here. And we'll just start from Gecko all the way to Marshall. So Gecko, Noatak, DrPhilandChill, then Marshall. So any last things you want to say as we're heading into our last week of regular season and then playoffs? So Gecko, we'll start with you.
Chiller season.
That's it? That's all you're gonna say?
That's it. Chiller season.
Okay. No talk.
Moonstone has had a rocky regular season. but we will definitely be performing in playoffs. And never leave open Seraphine or you will lose.
I love how you guys just always give out your draft tech, but okay. DrPhilandChill?
Thursday, CCS1, it's going to be a banger.
All right, and Marshall, go ahead and close us out. Oh, well, we got Chelsea. We'll let Chelsea close us out, but Marshall, you go.
Okay, I know I talk a lot of shit, but I take a lot of respect for everybody here. I'm happy everyone's here and playing. I want to thank all the production for CCS for just doing all this amazing work in the server, keeping everything running smoothly. I'm going to say, before I close it up, that I think my team's going to come back. We're going to destroy all of you. It's not going to be close.
Including your sister teams, right?
I have respect for them. I think we'll have a great series against those two, but everyone else, you're getting watched. Sorry, not sorry.
All right. Chelsea, your last thoughts, and go ahead and take us out.
Yeah, I mean, thank you all for coming. This is, the first time we are sort of doing this type of format. Do I have any I don't know. I don't know if I actually have last thoughts or anything, but L plus ratio plus you fell off plus I'm not gonna say the whole copy pasta. Thank you for coming. Have a nice night.
Have a great night, everybody.
All right, everyone, you all have a great night, and thank you for joining us on this podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, our regular season concludes tomorrow at 8 p.m. on the same Twitch channel. So be here to check out those games and yeah, see how Plat ends. In the meantime, we'll see you until next time. Have a good one. Peace.
Cut down one by one, no sound remains. Don't fear if death finds you this day.